I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
Dover Motor Speedway is a monster of a racetrack. Exactly 1 mile in length, Dover has some of the most extreme banking, 24 degrees, on the NASCAR Cup Series circuit. Even the straights are banked at 9 degrees. Did we mention that Dover is only one of 2 Cup tracks that features concrete pavement the whole way around? Constructed between 1967 and 69, Dover Motor Speedway was initially paved with asphalt. It wasn't until 1995's comprehensive revamp that the track was paved in concrete, giving Dover's racing surface its distinctive appearance. No matter the pavement, Dover has long been one of the most competitive tracks in the NASCAR schedule. From 1969 through 1980, 21 of the 22 Cup races at Dover Motor Speedway were won by drivers who either had already won a Cup championship or would later go on to win championships in NASCAR's top series. The names of these winners, part of the fabric of the sport. Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, David Pearson, Cal Yarborough, Benny Parsons, and Darrell Waltrip. Allison and Petty ranked first on the all-time win list at Dover with 7 victories apiece. More recently, Jimmy Johnson with 6, Jeff Gordon with 4, Mark Martin with 4, and a host of other stock car legends have added their names to the list of Dover winners. A list that also includes names like Scott Sharp and Greg Ray, who each won a race during Dover's cameo appearance on the Indy Racing League calendar in the late 90s. Tonight, the Dover 150. That's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Dover Motor Speedway, the virtual Dover Motor Speedway for tonight's Dover 150 Lonestar Racing Cup Series presented by AMCO Transmissions. Glad you're here with us here tonight. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Let's take a look at the race details tonight. 150 laps, the race distance, 67-degree ambient temperature, 68% humidity, partly cloudy skies, a gentle 4-mile-per-hour breeze, 99-degree track temperature. Drivers have a 40% fuel load here tonight. 2 sets of tires available over the wall if needed this evening. That's going to force a lot of strategy tonight on this very abrasive concrete racing surface. Also, drivers do have 1 fast repair, bail them out of trouble if the worst happens. Take a look with about a minute remaining in practice. The time, Zach Millett fastest with a 22.73. TJ Lane second quick, Michael Tucker third. Jason Blaney, Johnny DePasquale, and now Drew Blaze jumps into P5. DePasquale back to 6th. Matt Crockett 7th, Joe Tucker in the 8th spot, the 27 machine in 9th. That's going to be John Tiller, and Drew Prale rounding out the top 10 with a 23 flat. Just about 30 seconds roughly away before qualifying gets started here. Qualifying will be a 5-minute session. That's it. 2 laps. Don't delay. Bunch of you guys already in the stream chat. That's always good to see. We got Tom Girardelli. We got NS Vengeance. We got Derek and Donna. Matthew Crockett, of course. Matt Sisler. Chastity Tucker. Sandra Nielsen. Like how this one's starting off. Busy stream chat. Always a good thing. Black and red flags on the session. We'll go right into qualifying. We'll see who hits the track first. Looks like Joe Tucker is going to be the first to roll. Joe Tucker out of Cumberland Furnace, Tennessee. Sporting the Chastity Tucker Realtor colors on his Ford Mustang. Now, I want to warn everybody, most recent iRacing update has changed some things as far as how these race cars appear with some manufacturer updates. The paint schemes on these cars may not necessarily match up perfectly the way they did last week because, well, the body styles are slightly different. Body lines being different means paint schemes will look a little bit different. Don't worry, I'm sure these guys will get it straightened out as the season moves along. It takes time to get these cars painted up nice. Tucker's first lap at 23.508 sits provisional pole for the time being. Doesn't take long though. TJ Lane jumps top of the board, 23.37 on his first lap in the TikTok number 51. Off turn number 2. Lane still in the throttle. See if he can pick it up here on his second lap. Ooh, a little loose on exit, and he's in the fence. That's going to invalidate the lap. Luckily, we don't need to worry about backup cars as Jason Blaney now goes top. Second lap quicker at 23.15. Good lap for the 22. Drew Blaze, another good lap. 23.202. Parks it on the outside front row. Good to see Blaze actually qualifying this week. Usually starts out towards the back by design. Zach Millett at 23.68. Lap number 1, good enough for 8th spot. We'll see if he can pick it up as well. He's got work to do if he's going to hit a 23.14 to knock Blaney off the pole. We'll see if he's got enough. Lap 2, he goes P1, 23.027 for Zach Millett. Sits on the pole for the time being. Jose Luis Rivera, the number 8 machine, 23.268 on his first lap, 5th quick. Oh, a little issue off turn 4, gets the fence slightly. That's going to invalidate his second lap. Ryan Rose across the stripe. 23.666. Ryan Rose a little loose on exit of 4. Let's see what he lands. He was 18th on his first lap. Jumps up to 4th with a 23.216 for Brian Rose. Chris Grones with a 41. Lap 1. Lap 2, second quick, 23.090 for Chris Gones. A good lap. Was not very confident in the practice session. Certainly picked up some confidence now. Jarrett Woodard on his out lap, the number 79. So far, only 19 cars have taken the time here at Dover, officially. Scott Beardmore and Jesse Redding both made an attempt. They show 2+ laps in the books, but possibly not clean laps as no time registered for either driver. Woodard across the line. 20th quick, 25.039. Ooh, Woodard way high up the racetrack, lost the nose a bit. That's going to kill that lap, but he does lock in a time. PJ Cox was on the racetrack, but time expires. Qualifying in the books. Take a short break. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Jover Motor Speedway for the Jover 150, getting ready to get underway here. The field gridded up here in pit lane. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 23.027 seconds, it's that S4 guy, Zach Millett. Outside front row, teammate Chris Goins mixed it by 62 thousandths. Row number 2 from Fueled Up Motorsports, it's John Tiller in the 27, Jason Blaney also from Fueled Up. Number 22 starts fourth. Drew Blaze in the 1, making it a qualifying attempt this week. Not going to start in the back, track position too important. Drew Blaze starts 5th. Brian Rose starting in the 6th spot. Matt Crockett rolls 7th. 8th goes to Jose Luis Rivera. Michael Tucker will start 9th. 10th goes to Dan Storm. 11th starter is going to be TJ Elaine. Joe Tucker 12th. Drew Prale starts 13th. Dustin Rogerson, the number 23, starts in the 14th position. 15th goes to Nathan Line. Nick Kulikowski, the 17, will start 16th. Johnny DePasquale starts 17th. Darren Jones, 18th. 19th starters Ken Couch. 20th, Jarrett Woodard. PJ Cox, 21st. Justin Johnson in the 10X will start 22nd. Chris Klein in the 18 will start 23rd. 24th is Jesse Redding. Scott Beardmore, 25th. Randy Coaching, 26th. Sean Roberts will roll from the 27th spot. Dana Shepard getting called into work, may not take the green flag here. And Joe DeVee credited with 29th. Shotgun on the field. Your starting grid here as we're ready to go racing here from Dover Motor Speedway.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Just like that, green flag in the air. We're coming up to speed. Field out of turn number 4, lap 1 in the book. Zach Millett leads it over Chris Goins. Battle for the 3rd spot. Jason Blaney and John Tiller going at it. Tiller on the bottom of the racetrack. Blaney on the high side. Off turn number 2, Blaney with the advantage, with the momentum. Gets clear of the 27, tucks in behind Chris Goins. Tiller a run through the middle of the corner. Closes up just a bit. Not enough to make an advance on the 22. Top 3, Millett, Goins, Blaney. Then 4th and 5th, Tiller and Matt Crockett. One car way up the racetrack. Don't know who that may have been. It was the 39 of Michael Tucker. Gathers it up, keeps it out of the fence. Matt Crockett in the number 15. Oh, Crockett hits the fence on the exit of turn 4. Pancakes the right side of the race car. He's going to try and gather his thoughts here and continue on. Doesn't look like much, but that was a pretty big hit. Hopefully that car's not too damaged, and he's continuing on here. Seems okay. Tucks in behind the 8 of Jose Luis Rivera. While back out front, Zach Millett continuing to hold the lead over Chris Goins, but Jason Blaney hounding Goins big time here.
Caution.
And caution comes out just as Blaney gets the second
Bubba,
spot.
you're doing a good job. You want to give us an update on that car?
Not sure what the yellow is for. I don't see anybody indicating a crash right now. If anybody in the stream chat's aware of our incident on the track, let me know. I'll see if I can track it down. Pace car is probably the fastest one out here. Hauling. Justin Johnson at the back of the pack showing some damage on the 10. This may be tied into him. Let's see what happened here. Oh, something big on the backstretch here. Drew Blaze in it as well. Remember, Blaze started, well, he's qualified in the 5th spot, so might have had to go to the back. I think this starts off a little bit sooner with the 5. That's Randy coaching at the bottom of the racetrack here. Let's watch this here, quarter speed. You can see the back of that car stepping out on the exit of 2. Coaching trying to save it. Very difficult to do at this place. Self-cleaning racetrack, but if you turn right trying to go up there, it's very easy to spin the car out. And that's kind of what happened here. He went up the racetrack, closed the door for Drew Blaze unintentionally, but yeah, good job by Jesse Redding trying to squeak through here. Does he get a piece of this? Oh, he's still going to get into the 5 here. No, he does okay. How bad was this for Justin Johnson and Drew Blaze? Again, they do have a faster pair to work with, so that's going to be their saving grace here. Yeah, see, coaching was aiming towards that infield wall. Corrects it enough. If he's by himself here, this is a non-incident. There's no problem. But unfortunately for really everybody involved, the 5 coming up into some traffic here, collecting Drew Blaze, which sends him into Justin Johnson. And again, Jesse Redding get a very small part of this, but continues on. Maybe a little bit of scuffs on the front of his machine. Justin Johnson just leaving pit lane. Still some damage on it. Looks like he did not burn his faster pair, which can be a gamble at times. But again, only 9 laps in. You don't want to waste that faster pair. He may really need it later trying to work through this field. You're susceptible to getting into somebody else's incident. So it's going to be Millett and Blaney on the restart here, tucked in behind the iRacing pace car. Lights are out. Drew Blaze still at the back of the pack with Justin Johnson. Drew may have gotten through this okay. Not unscathed, but certainly a race-ready car, still able to compete. We'll see how he goes once we're back to the green flag here, but I would be willing to bet he'll be okay. Pace car is in. We wait yet another restart. First restart of the day, caution number 1.
Green flag.
And green goes in the air. Millett with a great jump in the Geico restart zone. Puts a half car length on Blaney. We'll see if he can carry that off the exit of 2. Down low, Blaney's going to carry some momentum through that mid portion. Millett jumps up the racetrack, takes some of the air off the nose of the 22. Stretches it out to a car length and a half, maybe 2 over Blaney. Drivers just trying to get into a rhythm here. 9 laps here goes by really fast, so not really any kind of level of comfortability for these guys just yet. Chris Goins having a moment there just a second ago. Saves the race car. Chris Goins in one of the newer, most recently restyled Toyotas with the iRacing update. Michael Tucker putting pressure on the 27 of John Tiller. Tucker with a moment off of turn number 4. He's going to lose the spot now to the 8 of Rivera. Oh, big wiggle for Tucker again. Sneaks in behind the 8. Not 100% certain here, but I think Rivera is coming over from Numb Thumbs Gaming. Depth graphics on the trunk lid of that machine. Meanwhile, there's a pass for the race lead. Blaney gets around Zach Millett. Millett had an advantage for a moment or two. It seemed like he was going to stretch out the advantage over the 22 machine. Let's see what happened. We'll try and take a look if I can find the replay of it. Guys are passing each other like crazy, so it's kind of hard to find it, but we'll give it a shot. Pass for the lead? No. There's the pass for the lead. Here we go. Down into turn number 3. Blaney gets alongside Millett. Millett up the racetrack, just lets him go. Minimal resistance from the 315. And we talked about it earlier in the broadcast, how abrasive this racetrack is. Saving the tires is going to be key. Again, only 2 sets over the wall, so that's 3 sets to work with throughout the whole race. I think at least one of these runs on fuel, you're going to have to not change tires. Leave a set that's used on the race car. Just grin and bear it and hope you don't die. Meanwhile, the battle's shaping up again with Tiller and Michael Tucker. Tucker's fast. Oh, another big wiggle. Michael Tucker is one of those guys out there. He's got a lot of raw talent, a lot of pace. He's very young. He's the kind of guy you actually have to try and slow down a bit. He gets the fence there off turn number 4. Talk to any team owner, you want to have a guy that you got to slow down. It's harder to beat him up than it is to slow him down. Unfortunately, the pace that Tucker has a lot of times hurts himself. Gets into the fence there, loses some track position and a position on the racetrack to Rivera. "21 laps in, top 5 is Jason Blaney, Zach Millett, John Tiller, Jose Rivera, Michael Tucker. Further down the line, Chris Goins, Brian Rose, TJ Lane, Matt Crockett, Nathan Line, your top 10. Fuel window tonight, anywhere between 36 and 44 laps. I know that's a pretty big differential, a pretty big window. Some guys, if you're going to put the hammer down the whole race, 36 to 38, that's probably where you'll end up. But some guys are able to stretch it to 44 laps in practice. But that's in a major fuel save mode, so we'll see what happens. NS Vengeance says, facts, he's nothing to play around with. I assume he's talking about Michael Tucker. There is a bit of a delay on our end, but the scary thing is about Michael Tucker is if he gains a little bit of discipline and a little bit of more racecraft, which just comes with time, he's going to be dangerous. Unfortunately for Jesse Redding, going down a lap here. In behind John Tiller, the third place machine. Redding running back in the 26th spot. But Sean Roberts hits pit road now. don't know if this is an oddball strategy he's trying to work. Sean Roberts does run a lot of road racing. Might be trying to play this one backwards, unless this is a drive-through penalty. I didn't even see that he stopped. No, he made a pit stop. Might have been fuel only. 7.08 seconds in the box for the 66. Sun hiding behind the clouds just a bit here. That's going to bring the track temp down slightly. Certainly change the handling on some of these race cars. Lap time's already starting to fall off here. I know we're 27 laps in. We did have a caution there at about lap 9, but fast lap on the day for Jason Blaney was a 23.97. Again, that's in race trim. Still taking care of his stuff. I'm sorry, best lap at 23.02. His last lap, well, now it's a 24.10. So we're over a full second of fall off here in less than 30 laps of green flag racing. We'll say less than 20, or close to 20. Shows you how important fresh Goodyear rubber is in Dover, Delaware. TJ Lane up 3 spots, back in the 8th position in behind Brian Rose. About 5-6 car lengths behind the 89. Rose now working on Michael Tucker. This is kind of the conversation that we were having about tires and how if you go out there and just hammer it to the floor, trying to turn the fastest lap you can every lap around, this is what's going to happen. Tucker was real fast out of the gate. And even where he's at now, he's up 2 positions, but he gets the wall once again. Brian Rose was taking care of his stuff. Able to get around Tucker with ease, and TJ Lane's going to do the same. On board, little rubbing. Through that little battle, the 42 sneaks by. Johnny DePasquale is going to pick up 2-for-1 special here in Dover, Delaware. Still the battle for position between Michael Tucker and TJ Elaine. Elaine on the bottom in that number 51 TikTok machine. Not messing around. Finally, TJ gets clear. Tucker's going to lose another spot to Matt Crockett here. And yet another to Drew Prowl. Mike Tucker just hemorrhaging positions here at Dover. He's down to the 11th position, started 9th. You saw him battling up into the top 5 a little while. Tires certainly going away on the number 39 machine. Back out front, battle for the race lead. Zach Millett to the bottom. Blaney in the outside. Might have got a piece of the wall on exit. Just a slice. Might have pulled some decals off the right side of that number 22 Swift Homebuyers machine. Big wiggle for Blaney off of 2. Keeps it straight. But you see how much ground he lost to Millett there. 2 to 3 car lengths before they get back to turn 3 and 4. Zach Millett back to the race lead here. Lap 35 takes over the top spot over Jason Blaney. 3rd place now John Tiller. Jose Luis Rivera in 4th, and Chris Goins running in the 5th spot. Brian Rose 6th. Johnny DePasquale 7th. TJ Elaine in the 8th position. Drew Prowl 9th. Matt Crockett 10th. And we're getting ready to see some green flag pit stops here in the next handful of laps. Already sounds like Zach Millett might be trying to save some fuel. Let's go on board with the 315 and listen if he's lifting and coasting on entry to the corners. And there it is. Clutch in, coast through the corner, still slides up the racetrack a bit. Tricky part is letting that clutch back out. You don't want to rotate that car too much. So he does the same thing down into turn 1. Yep, there it is. Millett scrapes the wall on entry to 3. TJ Lane doing the same, really trying to straighten those corners out the best that he can. Justin Johnson with a good recovery, already back up into the 18th position. He started 22nd, so going after it now. 2 drivers in the pits, Nick Kolakowski and Joe Tucker. It's a good look at paint scheme. Joe Tucker in the pit box. I don't know if Joe Tucker got a penalty. He still sits in the pits here. 22, 23, 24 seconds. Kolakowski down and away, 15.10 seconds as TJ Lane slides to a stop in his pit box. Long stop for the 51 here. Looks like fuel only for TJ. He's going to make this first pit stop his fuel only stop. But he's in there for a while too. I don't know if he's getting some repairs made or what the situation is. Maybe he got a penalty as well. 21, 22, 23. Or could it be the dreaded pit road glitch? We have seen that with these next-gen Cup cars. Multiple drivers down pit lane. Zach Millett still with the race lead. Jason Blaney in the pits, exiting just now. He was the second place machine at the time of his pit stop. Third place, Johnny DePasquale, the new HD Mustang. He's in the pits as well. Again, some more cloud cover here at Dover. It's almost dark. Millett still out in front with the race lead. Drew Blaze jumps up into the second spot. Now Blaze is going to be able to stay out a little bit longer than the rest of these guys because he was forced to pit lap 7 after being involved in that incident on the backstretch. And the caution comes out. We got one driver up in the fence. I think it's Darren Jones. Jones already back in pit lane here. Looks like Jones might have been trying. Oh, he was trying to get to pit road and couldn't get it wound down enough. Hits the tire barrier or the barrels that protect the end of pit lane. Absolute worst timing for a pit stop. Worst timing for a caution, but Millett's going to come down and pit. And as it stands right now, it looks like Zach Millett and Drew Blaze have trapped the rest of the field a lap down. Brian Rose, I would expect, would get the lucky dog on this cycle. It's the first car 1 lap down. But yeah, these pit stops were just getting underway, or just about wrapped up for that matter. Millett's going to take fuel only. He's down and away, waiting for pit road exit to open back up. Got to be careful about that. You can get a penalty if you cross that line. Green, yeah, see the green light come on at end of pit lane, so now he's clear to rejoin. That's bitten guys in the past. Looks like Blaney has gotten back up into the lead lap cars. It's showing, I think, a handful here. We'll see how this cycles back through. So unfortunate timing of the caution, and really the pit stops are what caused it. Not a whole lot you can do about it, but at the end of that pit cycle, just about everyone had made their pit stops. But Drew Blaze, who made his pit stop early, lap 7, forced to fix some damage. Might as well take the fuel at the time. I'm sure he did. So he was able to extend the amount of time he'd stay out of the track compared to everybody else. Zach Millett was just saving fuel like a madman, so he was able to stay out a little bit longer as well. was lucky enough to make his pit stop under the caution flag versus everybody else who got trapped a lap down or more during this pit cycle. Field still working behind the pace car. Let's see if we can get a word here with Zach Millett. Pull him up into the broadcast booth and get a word. Zach Millett, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Steve, got a copy.
I know we're getting ready to go back to the green here in a moment or two, but walk us through that pit cycle. You saved a bunch of fuel at the end of that run. It kept you out of the racetrack just long enough to get the opportunity to pit under yellow. There's only a handful of you guys on the lead lap. What's the strategy from here on in?
Probably the same thing. I want to save as much as I can, and I think the next stop we're going to take those tires, and it's going to be awesome after that, because it's going to be a struggle this stint with old tires.
Tires certainly falling off quite a bit. You're losing a second plus every lap. Good luck managing that the rest of the way.
Thank you, sir.
Zach Millett, no stage racing here in LSR, but wanted to get a word with the race leader as we get ready to go back green flag racing. I don't know if we're going to extend this caution or not. A lot of wave around cars, it seems. Jumbled mess here as we get ready to go back to the green flag. I don't know. I'm expecting them to throw another yellow, or at least extend this another lap, because no one's where they need to be yet. It's to be expected with that many cars.
We going green this time, bro? Negative.
Yep, there it is. They waved it off. Kind of what we expected to see happen. We're going to cross, get lap 48 up on the board. So lap 49, just about third distance when we go back to the green flag here the next time by. So that's what it's going to look like here. The top 6 are your lead lap cars. That's going to be Zach Millett, Drew Blaze, Jason Blaney, Ryan Rose, John Tiller, Johnny DePasquale. Trying to figure out who the 80 machine is that's sitting behind Millett. Well, either way, we're going to go back to the green flag here. Lap 49 about to go up on the board.
Green flag.
There it is. The 80 drops below, lets the field go by. Millett jumps out to a pretty significant lead here off turn number 2. 6/10 on Drew Blaze already. Both drivers taking about the same strategy here, it appears. Fuel only on their pit stops. John Tiller, Ryan Rose, just about everybody here in the top 6 on the lead lap taking fuel only on their pit stops. Millett already out of the throttle on the clutch, saving fuel, trying to stretch this run as long as he can go. Michael Tucker back in now the 18th position. Interestingly enough, Brian Rose is back there quite a ways back from the race leader, about 9 seconds. I don't know how the lead lap cars got jumbled up with the lap down cars. Brian Rose in 6th, the last car on the lead lap. Jason Blaney running in 5th, the number 22. He's still about 8 seconds behind. Oh, almost had a jumbled mess off of turn number 2. Brian Rose has to save it. We got a slow car. Looks like Michael Tucker might have been in the wall. Well, if he was, he kept right on going. Ken Couch in the 08 machine. He's running back in 20th. We figured out who the 80 is. It's Dan Storm. Got the wrong number on the car, but that's all right. They'll get it squared away for next week. Should be the 81. Close enough. Millett still leading over Drew Blaze. Remember, Drew qualified in the 5th position here today, dropped to the rear before the start. Was involved in an incident with Justin Johnson and a couple other drivers. Lap 9, roughly. It was lap 7 or 9 in that regard. He's battled his way back up to the 2nd spot. John Tiller back in 3rd. He's about 8 to 9 seconds behind the top 2. So we're going to take the opportunity while we can in an HBR TV side-by-side break. As it stands, it's Millett, Blaze, Tiller, Deep Pasquale, and Jason Blaney in the top 5. Then Brian Rose, Jose Rivera, Chris Goins, Randy Coaching, Matt Crockett. That's your top 10. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Caution, caution. Kind of walk me through a lap here, please.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway, working yet another caution. Chris Goins involved in this one. You saw it during the side-by-side. Take another look at it from the blimp. Getting into the 3 of Darren Jones. Both drivers, again, self-cleaning racetrack. Hard impact to the inside wall. Hard hit. Third caution of the afternoon here from Dover. So the good news is with this caution is it should get the rest of the field bunched back up as far as lead lap drivers are concerned. We'll get another driver back on the lead lap with the lucky dog. Not that we want more and more cautions, but the more drivers we can have in contention for this race win, the better. An untimely caution coming out right at the end of the pit cycle, leaving just a few drivers on the lead lap as we went back to green on our second restart of the day. I guess I'm curious to see, and I think we've already answered this question, is I think the pit road already opened previously, but will anybody dive down and take fuel? Nope, at least not the leaders. Take a look at the point standings coming into tonight. We didn't talk about that previously, but Drew Blaze, your points leader, coming into this race by only 4 points over Zach Millett. Doing a good job, even in the second position, to maintain that lead over the 315. Justin Johnson is third. Will Hewitt, fourth in the standings, but not in the field tonight. And fifth is Chris Goins. So it looks like we're lined up, ready to go again. Millett and Drew Blaze going to lead the field back to the green. Then it's Brian Rose, Johnny DePasquale, John Tiller, Jason Blaney, Jose Luis Rivera, Randy Coaching, your top 8. Those are your lead lap drivers. 9th on down, a lap down, Matt Crockett in the lucky dog position. If the caution comes back out, he'd get the wave around, get back on the lead lap. Got Cody Anderson in the stream chat. Haven't heard from him in a while. What's going on, Cody? He says, hi, Steve, as always. Pace car is in, ready for a restart. Heading to the Geico restart zone. Millett's going to hold him down. Doesn't wait long. Fires off right away. Jumps out, 0.6 of a second advantage. Took a little bit longer this time. He had about a 6.5 advantage over Blaze on the last restart. This time took a couple of laps. Drew Blaze, though, notorious for being great at saving his stuff for late in the race. You got to keep an eye on him. He's real loose on the turn 2. He's going to get the wall just a tiny bit, maybe. Drew Blaze having a moment off turn number 2. I think he managed to keep it off the inside wall. Continues on, but he goes from 2nd to 7th. In a blink of an eye. Jose Rivera now into that 2nd spot. He's on the charge. He pit at lap 60. I don't know if he took tires on the first pit stop of the day, but he's not wasting any time. Diving to the inside for the race lead here at Dover. Millett back to 2nd. Rivera top of the board off turn number 4. John Tiller is going to try and chase him through as well. On board with Millett. Tiller going alongside the bottom two. He's going to take second spot away. Johnny DePasquale thinking about doing the same. Fresher tires for these guys, it would seem. Big checkup. I don't know if something happened up ahead of Millet. He was out of the throttle big time. But again, Millet goes from the race lead back to P5 in just a matter of about a lap and a half. So out in front, it is the 8. Jose Luis Rivera. John Tiller second. Johnny DePasquale is third. Jason Blaney, Zach Millett, the top 5. Rivera puts about 6/10 on John Tiller into turn 3. DePasquale back a second and a half from the race lead. Millett's lost 3 seconds off that top spot. Crockett takes an opportunity to hit pit lane. We just got back onto the green flag here a moment ago. Oh, and has to back it up. Loses some time in the pits. He's going to put some tires on here, so he's going to be much faster when he gets back out there, but how much track position is he going to have to make up? And Crockett running back in the 22nd position. Going to put him 3 laps down, but he's going to have some pace as we're just a lap or 2 away from halfway. Rivera's still out in front. Lap 75 goes up on the timing tower. Tiller a half second off in closing. That gap was over 6/10 just a few laps ago. Tiller's picking away, getting a little bit closer every lap. Top 8, Rivera, Tiller, DePasquale, Jason Blaney, Zach Millett, Brian Rose, Drew Blaze, Randy Coaching, Michael Tucker back in 9th, and then Sean Roberts in the 10th spot. Tucker and Roberts a lap down, though, still in the top 10. Again, if you're just joining us late, we had a poorly timed caution. It's not like we can plan it that way, but right at the end of the pit cycle, trapped a lot of drivers a lap down. We only had 6 at the next restart. Now we've got a couple more that are back on the lead lap. So 8 cars on the lead lap here at Dover. 77 laps in, Rivera your leader. Tiller's really closing that gap. Now it's 2/10. That throttle off turn number 2. Gets to the inside, drives it deep. Rivera's going to battle back on the outside. He's got the momentum, carries it by, but not quite clear. John Tiller, your new race leader from Dover. Lap 79 takes it away. Johnny DePasquale, he's going to take a crack as well. He wants the 2nd spot. The 8 up the racetrack. Jason Blaney's closed in as well. A little bit of a wiggle, little bit of contact maybe. Blaney checks up though and gives him more room. Rivera slips back to the 4th spot. Move Blaney up into the top 3. Again, it won't be too much longer. We're going to see another round of green flag pit stops coming up. A lot of drivers, well, some of them will, some of them won't. There's a lot of drivers that did opt to pit during that lap 60 caution period to top off for fuel, maybe even take some tires. In fact, you saw a lot of those drivers rise to the front of the field with the fresh rubber. Remember, Zach Millett's pit stop was at lap 44, Brian Rose 42, Drew Blaze 44. TJ Lane pit at lap 38, so he's going to have to hit pit road, likely the first driver to do it. I know we've had a couple of cautions that extends that fuel window just a bit, but it does it for everybody. Top 3, you can throw a blanket over them in a picnic down the back straightaway into 3. It's Tiller, DePasquale, and Blaney. Fueled Up Motorsports occupying the top 3 here at Dover. Darren Jones in the stream chat, quote, "Bad night for me," as he sits in pit lane. Nose missing off the 3. Remember, he was involved in that incident during that pit cycle. It brought us out that caution, poorly timed caution. He got into the barrels that protect the end of pit road wall. And as we expected, here comes TJ Lane down pit road. Chris Klein also in the pits. TJ comes to a stop in that number 3 pit stall. More tires and fuel. TJ Lane drops the jack. He's down and away in 15.02 seconds. Again, the driver we expected to see first, TJ Lane, now just leaving pit road. Now we got to wait for these lead drivers on the lead lap to make their pit stops. Still John Tiller, DePasquale, and Blaney the top 3. Jose Luis Rivera is 4th. Zach Millett 5th. Just ahead of Drew Blaze. Blaze about 6, 7, 8 car lengths behind. Remember, he had a moment off turn 2 after the restart. I don't want to say he was lucky enough to save it, but he's got the talent. We're looking like we were going to go 3 wide for a minute. Jesse Redding, very smart about it. Checks up off the throttle off turn number 2. Lets these two continue to fight it out. Millett running in the 5th position with the 38 machine of Nathan Line. He's a 16th place car. Michael Tucker on the pit road. Tucker also with the Chastity Tucker Realtor paint scheme. Tucker's taking fuel only. Meanwhile, Zach Millett also on the pit road. This is when I expect to see Millett throw some tires on. Didn't show too much of his hand when we talked to him, but I'm going to guess that's going to be the scenario here for the 315. Side's changed for Zach Millett. Left side's in the air. Drops the jack. Down and away in 15.08 seconds. Brian Rose finishing up his pit stop and well. 15.52 for the 89 machine. Drew Blaze on pit road as well here, lap 92. Blaze comes to a stop. Right side tire change. Now, we've seen Drew take just rights a lot of the time. Usually it's in his final stop of the race, but I don't think he's got enough fuel to make it all the way to the end. So there's going to be one more stop. 4 tires and fuel for Drew Blaze. He's down and away. A very good stop. 14.82 seconds for the one. Still on the racetrack, though. John Tiller, Johnny DePasquale, Jason Blaney, Rivera, coaching. That's your top 5. Now currently only 5 cars on a lead lap. We are at the end of this pit cycle again, but everyone's on a bit of a different strategy at this point. Top 5 drivers all pit during that lap 60-ish caution, so they've got a little more time to go. Probably another 10 laps or so before we see them down pit road. Cycle, Zach Millett back in the 12th spot. Remember, he was about 5th prior to the pit stops. Drivers out there with fresher tires able to burn right by the 315 and others, as we see him doing with Justin Johnson and Sean Roberts right now. Nathan Lyon in 13th position in the number 38 machine. About where he was, but Drew Blaze to the inside. He's going to take that spot away as he continues his march back towards the front. Darren Jones still sitting in pit lane here. I think he's probably done for the day. Tiller across the line. Lap 99 goes up again. Expect to see him here within the next 5 or 6 laps. Nick Kolakowski pulls it down to pit road, number 17. A little bit of right front damage on that car. Jose Luis Rivera down pit road from the top 5. Drew Prahl in behind. And race leaders hit pit road. John Tiller, Johnny DePasquale, and Jason Blaney. Triple J here down pit road. Fueled Up Motorsports working together. Tiller started in the 3rd position inside 2nd row. Johnny DePasquale was 17th. Blaney started 4th. Now Sean Roberts inherits the top spot. May see him come to pit lane. Indeed, he is. Down on the flat in 3 and 4. Not taking any chances. Right side tire change for the 66 of Sean Roberts. Drops the jack, crew goes around to the left side. 4 tires and Sunoco Racing fuel for the 66. He's down and away. 15.30 seconds in the pit box. Jason Blaney has inherited the top spot through this pit cycle. He made his pit stop at lap 101. Looks like it might have been fuel only for the 22, however. 8.1 seconds in the pit box. Zach Millett in the second position with fresh tires. We'll see how quickly he can reel in the 22 here with 47 laps to go. Millett looking to the inside of Chris Klein. Klein in the 16th spot. Millett looking to the outside. You can make that pass if you got fresh rubber, otherwise, not gonna happen. Zach Millett back to the race lead, lap 106. And with that, we're going to take our last HBR TV side-by-side break. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
We'll jump back in as the yellow comes out here, lap 115. Chris Klein, I think, involved in this one, and he's already back in pit road with some damage. Let's see what happened to the 18. Puts us under caution once again. I don't know if he was trying to get to pit road. Oh, we've seen this story before. It was the 3 of Darren Jones did the exact same thing, trying to get to pit road. I think he was trying to get to pit road. That's certainly how it appeared. Watch it again from another angle. If he was trying to get to pit road, he was going way too fast. I'm thinking he might have actually just clipped the apron and was trying to save it, and that's where he ended up. I'm not 100% sure, but nevertheless, it puts us under the caution once again here for the 4th time from Dover. Now, the question remains, will we see these guys hit pit road here to top off for fuel? I think so. Zach Millett's definitely one of them. John Tiller, Jason Blaney, Drew Blaze, Johnny DePasquale, Jose Rivera, Brian Rose. So far, those are our takers on pit road. Randy Coaching might as well. I think, yep, there he is. While we're under caution, I know I typed it in the stream chat, guys. We've got a great crowd watching. It was 36, 37, 39. We've only got 9 likes, though. If you didn't already do it, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Like the stream, like the video. It does help quite a bit. Not just us here at HBR TV, but the more eyeballs, the better. It helps the league. It gets more interest in drivers that might want to come run in LSR. It's a great league to run. Pit stop's complete. Looks like Millett had a set of tires. He bolts them on. Well, that's going to put him in a real good position here to finish this one out. So under our 4th caution of the night, again, a relatively clean race, very difficult track. It was a tough setup. I know the league admins did do a little bit of tweaking to that iRacing fixed setup to try and make it a little more drivable. Certainly has seemed to help as the cautions have been few and far between here this evening. Our lap down cars getting an opportunity to hit pit road. Chris Goins, Drew Prowl, Jarrett Woodard, Sean Roberts, and others. Michael Tucker looks like he's in a wave around position. Should go around the pace car here along with the 15 of Crockett. Matt Crockett, a member of the Bandit Racing League. HBR TV going to pick them up here in the spring. Early spring, cover their season. Very unique season, running multiple vehicles throughout the course of the season. One week it'll be one car, the next week it'll be another, and then so on and so on and so on. Definitely a very different way of running a series and running a league and paying points, but I kind of like the idea. It helps avoid one driver who just dominates in one particular vehicle. I know you're going to have guys that are good in anything, but once in a while you get that one guy who's just lights out in a Gen 6 Cup car, or you can't beat him in a truck, or whatever the case may be. So they're going to switch things up week to week. That's actually kind of cool. I'm really looking forward to that. Those will be on Wednesday evenings, I believe 9 p.m. in the East. We're still trying to work out the details on that stuff, but right here on HBR TV, the Bandit Racing League. Furthermore, it sounds like we're in the works on a road course series. Glad to have that back here at HBR TV. That'll be coming up, I believe, on Thursdays. Again, that's all in pencil, nothing set in stone. But that'll be an LSR series, just like we have here tonight. IMSA style, GTP, LMP2, GT cars. I think a 10-race season is what's planned. Again, all in pencil right now, very early stages, but we're excited about it. We like to talk about it and hope to drum up some attention, not just for our sakes, but their league's sake as well. Pace car hits pit road here. We're going to get the restart at lap 120. Be 31 laps to go.
Green flag.
Rivera doesn't go on the restart. Blaze has to take evasive action. Blaze now underneath the 8. Big run coming from the outside of John Tiller. Hope he sees him. Rivera saw that getting ready to happen. Gives the 27 a bit of a bump. Very smart move out of the driver of the number 8 machine. Wasn't sure if the 27 was going to come up or not. Looks like he checked up because he had a huge run. Millett with a race lead, 2/10 over Jason Blaney in the 22. We watch the battle for third still between the 8 of Rivera. A little bit of door-to-door contact with John Tiller. Exit at turn number 2. A nose out in front for Rivera. Still not quite clear. Tiller battling back, and now the 8 closing in on Jason Blaney. If the 8 can make a pass here, put Blaney to the outside, it kind of throws a pick in front of the 27, and the caution's out again.
All right, save your stuff, save a little fuel.
Not sure who we got here. Yeah, I don't know. Jesse Redding, maybe? Redding slow on the track. Got the notify awfully late. You can tell these drivers have been painting these cars in the last minute because you can see the sim stamp number over top the custom number on his car, but I don't think that's why the crash happened. Let's take a look at it and see what happened to Jesse Redding just a moment ago, if he's even the reason for it. Yeah, he might have been, yeah. Tank slapper off turn 4. Had it corrected, but overcorrected in front of the 66 of Sean Roberts. Looks like Justin Johnson got a small piece of that as well. Puts us under caution for the 5th time tonight. With that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with a restart after this.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody
Back at Dover Motor Speedway, going to be 24 laps to go when we take the green flag once again. I don't think anybody's got any questions about fuel to this point. So we get set for another restart here. Field working the back straightaway, about to take the back straightaway. Will be green this time by. Pace car pulls left down pit road. We get set once again for a restart.
Green.
Green flag waves are back underway at Dover. Still with the race lead, a car length off the back bumper. It's the 22 with Jason Blaney, Jose Luis Rivera in third, Tiller and Blaze the balance of the top 5. 23 laps to go. The field on to turn number 2. Millett still maintaining the top spot. Jason Blaney not giving him an inch. Still a car length off the back bumper through 3 and 4. Millett and Blaney making their pit stops at the same time. Both drivers with fresh tires at that time. They bolted them on. It's a heads-up race to the finish. 22, less than 22 laps to go. Blaney is there all over Millett like a cheap suit. It's just a few feet. On board with Zach Millett, looking back at the challenger, Jason Blaney. Always fast, always a threat for a race win. Top 2 just stretching it out over the rest of the field. You can tell they found a little bit extra here late in this race. 20 laps to go. Darren Jones down at the bottom of the racetrack trying to get some more laps in before this one's out. Taking a look. Blaney just looking. Right now I think Blaney might be a slight bit faster. Last lap, well, hard to say. It's a 23.19 for Millett, 23.20 for Blaney. Both drivers with the same lap time for the best of the day at a 23.01. That's got to be recent. Millett still maintaining that 1 car length advantage, but 1 mistake out of the 315. Blaney is ready to pounce. Still watching them fight it out for the top spot. Last lap again, separated by 1/100th of a second between Millett and Blaney. Millett, the faster one of the two. Little wiggle off turn number 2. Allows Blaney to close the gap. Millett now up the racetrack. I don't know if he's watching his mirrors, but he's just got to focus on the track. Run your line, race the racetrack. 17 to go. Millett with a slightly defensive line on exit of turn number 2. Lap after lap after lap, these guys are just the same. 23.28 for Millett, 23.29 for Blaney. It's even closer than that. We're talking thousandths of a second. It's like watching the Blue Angels out here. Blaney a little bit faster that time. Pick it back up. He does. Puts a 10th on him. You see the gap between the two of them growing slightly. It's about a car length and a half, at least through 1 and 2. Blaney might have closed it back in on entry to 3. Millett slips up the racetrack. Blaney's got to pay attention to that, see if he can take advantage of it later on, but slips up the racetrack, lost the nose on exit. I don't know if that was aero push or just the tires unhappy, but Blaney's still faster that time by 100th and a half. Chris Elliott in the chat, let's go HBR. Millett's going to have to work for this one. Drew Blaze back in third. If these two come together, Blaze will absolutely be there. Oh, big wiggle for Blaney. Blaney in trouble on the front stretch. Doesn't get the wall, but he loses a ton of ground on Zach Millett. Blaney was pushing hard, trying to catch and pass Zach Millett, but unable to do so. With less than 12 laps to go, he's about a second and a couple of tenths behind. Closing back in again, though. Millett didn't have a great 3 and 4. I think Millett's going to actually try and cool his stuff down here, even if it means Blaney catches him. Gives him an opportunity here to cool his stuff, but Blaney catches the wall again off turn number 2. Try to get things cooled down in case you do have to fend him off another time. Blaney's recouped more track position here. It's down to 7 tenths. Another wiggle. Rear tires getting hot on the 22. That's the other thing. You get them loose like that, trying to save the car, sliding the tires across this concrete surface. Those tires are getting warm. Millett still with the lead now at 6 tenths. Blaney's closing back in. This one's not over yet, folks. Last lap, Blaney was faster. Put the laps back up here on the screen so you can see it. Last couple of laps, Blaney was quicker. I don't know if Millett just overheated his stuff or if he's just truly trying to save it. Dead even. No, there it is. Millett a little bit quicker this time, 2.5 tenths plus. And the deficit growing now once again between Millett and Blaney. It was 9 tenths. It's hanging around that number right now. 6 laps to go from Dover. Plenty of distance between Millett and Blaney to this point. Next lap or so, Blaney's going to have to worry about the one of Drew Blaze, as he has certainly reeled in the 22. Bit of a run down into turn number 1. 5 laps to go for Millett. Blaney's going to have to try and hold on to second place at this point. Drew Blaze, when he made his pit stop, also at lap 116, he took 4 tires as well, but the difference is Blaze didn't have to work as hard trying to get around Millett. He's going to have to work hard now to get by Blaney. We'll see if there's contact. No, he gets to the inside, gets a nose alongside, start finish 4 laps to go. Blaze trying to take that second spot away. You saw how hard Blaney was trying to get around Zach Millett for the race lead. He might have burned up his stuff just a bit in comparison to Drew Blaze. Lap car of Sean Roberts just up ahead. This might play a factor unless he gets up top of the racetrack and gets out of the way. And he doesn't. Blaney's right there on the back bumper. It's going to slow him down. Roberts tried to go way high in the racetrack, just nowhere for Blaney to go. He tucks in behind Drew Blaze here with about 2.5 laps to go. Well, out front, Zach Millett with the lead, coming to 2 to go. A second and a half the advantage for the 315. Top 3 has stabilized, and Drew Blaze now putting some distance on Jason Blaney. Brian Rose up into the 4th position, still a few seconds back from the race lead, and maybe a second and a half off of Blaney. Don't know if there's enough time for him to catch the 22. White flag in the air, final lap for Zach Millett. Millet started on the pole position here tonight. Strategized well, took care of his tires, made that final pit stop late for fresh rubber. And out of turn number 4, he's going to take the checkered flag here in the Dover 150. Drew Blaze finishes in the second spot. Jason Blaney ultimately takes home a third place. Blaney coming in, giving a little congratulations to Millet, many other drivers as well. Millet burning them down here on the front stretch at Dover. With that, we'll jump aside here, get a break out of the way. We'll be back with Zach Millet, Drew Blaze, and Jason Blaney after this.
I met Marco Sgarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway for the Dover 150 Lonestar Racing Cup Series presented by AMCO Transmissions. Zach Millett from the pole position takes the race win. We'll see if we can pull the driver of the 315 up in the broadcast booth and get a word with our race winner. Zach, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Steve, got a copy.
We talked to you at the end of that first caution about what the strategies were going to be. I was kind of questioning it for a little while. You were further back in the pack. Obviously, you weren't too far back considering the amount of cars that were still on the lead lap, but you made it work. You had an extra set of tires there, that late pit stop. Walk us through the closing laps and your battle with Jason Blaney. How did you hold him off?
Oh man, it wasn't easy. I mean, he was fast. He definitely had the pace. It was just all about trying to save enough tire for like the last 10 or 15 laps. I mean, I can't even count how many times I've been lucky enough to be in first place at a Dover race and then had, like Drew Blades or somebody come up behind me with new tires and they're like half a second or second faster all the time. So it was just all about the last little bit of this race, and everything up until then is just kind of saving and hoping we made it.
Well, you made it for sure. It was a strong run to the finish, holding off Blaney. Of course, Blaney making a mistake late, manages to save the car, but I think he burned up his stuff there late. Drew Blaze eventually getting on by. Blaney still with a top 3 finish. Can you carry some of this momentum from Dover into Kansas next week?
I don't know how much momentum we're going to have, but we're going to have a lot of it to get out of pit lane on the start, to not go a lap down and be in pure struggle mode the entire race. But I mean, that's the win penalty portion of it, and I think it's a good thing. I'm not upset about it a bit. So it's going to be fun. Kansas from pit lane, man, I don't know. We're gonna give it everything, though, that's for sure.
Certainly a good part of this series is they try to make it fair. Clearly there's really fast guys in this league, but it helps even up the playing field. Good to see that each and every week. Zach, congratulations on the race win here tonight. Who do you want to shout out to?
I got to thank you, Steve, and HBR TV, HBRTV1.com, HBRShops.com, Trackbar Media, Castle Products, Brandon Minnick Trailers. Big thanks to him for sponsoring this season. The LSR admins, everybody behind it. They do a great job. Big thanks to Drew for putting that setup work in tonight, because the iRacing setup was kind of insane. So big thanks to him for taking a little extra time and making a setup for everybody that I think everybody was pretty happy with. Thanks to all my teammates at HBR. Big thanks to Alfie. He came in and he spotted for basically all of us. I don't know how he did it. He was spotting for 4 or 5 of us in this race. So hell of a job to him. Big thanks. Big thanks to all my other teammates in HBR. Martin Sports. Shoot me a follow over on Twitch and YouTube at That Is For Guy.
Fair enough, Zach. Again, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck next week at Kansas.
Thanks, buddy.
Zach Millett, your race winner. Next, we're going to talk to Drew Blaze. A hard charge. What an interesting night for Drew Blaze. He qualified in that 5th position, had to go to the back, started to work his way up through the field, and then involved with an incident with a few other drivers, Justin Johnson included. Still battles back. Late race pass for the 2nd position. Drew Blaze, Steve in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Drew, congratulations, man. An awesome run. Once again, a Millett and Blaze 1-2 at Dover. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, I thought, honestly, with the way that started out for me, I didn't think it would work out that all, but honestly, it kind of helped me out because getting fuel there when I went and took my quick fix kind of helped me not have to pit as early. And the caution just came out at the perfect time to kind of trap a lot of guys a lap down, so it just kind of worked out in my favor.
Yeah, in that situation, if you don't have that wreck on laps 7, 8, or 9, or whatever it was, you don't get the fuel that you had on board. You really needed to be aggressive saving. Millett was very aggressive in saving fuel, but you could have been trapped a lap down. It didn't happen. You worked your way back through. I guess the car wasn't too terribly damaged, but walk us through that incident early on in the race. We saw one driver trying to save it down the backstretch, and just the hole in the opening there just got smaller and smaller. But what did it look like to you?
Yeah, I saw him get loose, and I thought he had it saved and was staying up the track. It looked like he was in reasonable control, so I kept throttling up, and he looked like he was just kind of drifting up the track, trying to get control of it still. And I just realized it late. I mean, I think I got in the brakes hard enough, but Justin didn't see it because he was right on my bumper. So, I mean, it's unfortunate it happens, but it's just a case of a guy being too aggressive early on in the race. And, but in this case, it worked out for me, but it's not always going to work out that way.
Certainly the case. Next week we roll to Kansas Speedway. Do you still have a win penalty next week? I think it goes away since you didn't win this week, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So it's not. We don't do consecutive wins. So it's just total wins as a whole. So I will not have a win penalty next week. I believe Miller will have to start from the pits just one race, and unless he wins again, the next time he wins again, the penalty will increase as you win more races. That's the aim of the goal here.
Well, fair enough. Speaking of Kansas Speedway, without that win penalty for you next week, how do you feel about a race win next week? I know you typically run well there as well.
Yeah, we're gonna try. I love Kansas. You can run top and bottom there, and even in the middle. It's all over the place, and just depends on your strategy and how you want to save your tires. And there's a lot of thinking involved during the race. So we're just gonna have to plan that out, do a little bit of testing, and make sure we got our head on straight. But yes, I always love Kansas. Always puts on good races, and yeah, we won't see anything short of a great race.
We're certainly looking forward to it. Tonight was a good one, too. Relatively clean. Always good to see that, especially at a place like Dover. A lot of guys expected it to be a disaster, but once again, you surprised us all, and, well, it's becoming a little bit less and less surprising each week. You guys run a good league, really clean, good racing. Congratulations at that as well, but who else do you want to thank here before we let you get out of here?
Yeah, got to thank Lonestar Racing. See, we got some new sponsors here. Amco Transmission Total Care. Ken's Water Hauling and Battle Lane Potable Water Hauling, and LSR Gaming X on Twitch, No Limit Detailing, and Ryko Performance. Gotta thank all my guys over at Lonestar Racing, the great group of guys, always striving to get better and be good as a team as a whole each week. So can't thank those guys enough. Thank you for putting on the broadcast. Everybody who's been running this league has been fantastic, and we're getting better each week. And this is a great race on a track that I didn't expect to put on such a good race. So hats off to those guys. And thank everybody out there for watching. I appreciate you guys.
Look forward to it every week. Drew, again, congratulations on the runner-up here at Dover. Good luck next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Drew Blaze, your runner-up here at Dover Motor Speedway. Next, we're going to pull a 22 up into the broadcast booth. That's going to be Jason Blaney. Not necessarily running the whole season this year, but man, he was really trying to get that checkered flag here. Just, I think, might have run out of a bit of tire here at the end of this one. Jason Blaney, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Steve.
Jason, congratulations, man. A strong run, a great battle that we watched with you and Zach Millett. Walk us through those closing laps. What was the difference maker there at the end? Did it really come down to heating up those tires too much, or was that moment off of turn 4 the main issue?
I mean, honestly, Zach had a little bit more pace than me. I saw that early on in the run when I passed him when we were battling early on in the race. So I was trying to battle that, kind of play his game and watch his pace and all that. And it's kind of disappointing a little bit. I felt like when it was right when we started getting down to really putting the throttle down and start racing each other, it's, obviously you saw the loop off turn 4. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I definitely would have been able to battle him, especially with the, not as high of a concern on tire wear to end the race, so I could have pushed him a little bit harder and things like that. But once I slid off 4, I mean, they were hot. I couldn't get it under me. I was on ice the whole rest of the time and ultimately getting Drew around me. So, I mean, that's kind of where it ended up. I felt like I had good speed, good pace, just a slight little mistake, and maybe just a little bit of lack of track time and seat time that I've had recently kind of resulted to that. But overall, just got to keep on the grind, keep getting better, and hopefully it'll be a different result later on.
Well, I'll tell you, we love having you here in this league. You certainly make it fun to watch. Next week at Kansas Speedway, I know your schedule's kind of funny. Are you going to be able to make it next week?
That's a toss-up. If you see me in the 22, you'll know I'll be there. But until then, I really don't know. I hope so. It's a fun track. Ripping that topside, super fun. But yeah, it's kind of just a toss-up.
Well, either way, we look forward to it, Jason. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you get out of here?
Got to shout out all my guys in Fueled Up. We got 3 of our 4 cars tonight in the top 10, so that's a good, really good result for all of us. I mean, just the whole team hunkering down, whether good luck, bad luck. We all have, a ton of energy and, dedication to be able to be good, so everyone did a hell of a job. Obviously, I'd like to, thank Swift Homebuyers that I was able to race their car tonight. Clark Heating Cooling, adminbox.com. You in the booth, of course, ABN, and all the rest of the people that allow us to, enjoy this expensive sim and keep it going week after week.
All right, Jason. Well, again, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us, and hopefully we'll see you next week. If that's the case, good luck, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Jason Blaney, your third place finisher here at Dover Motor Speedway. Why do I almost call it Bristol? This place is bigger than Bristol. With that, though, let's take a look at our official race results. Of course, we talked to our top three. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for results. There it is. Top three was Zach Millett, Drew Blaze, Jason Blaney. We spoke to them. Brian Rose, a solid fourth place finish. Johnny DePasquale was fifth. John Tiller, P6. Seventh went to Randy Coaching. Chris Goins was eighth. Drew Preal comes home in the ninth spot. Jose Luis Rivera was 10th. I love saying that name. It's more of a Formula One name, I think, but man, he had a strong run here tonight. Led some laps. Awesome job for the driver of the number 8 machine. PJ Cox, also a strong run, just outside the top 10 and 11th. Great run for Jarrett Woodard, 12th spot. Sean Roberts was 13th, TJ Elaine 14th, even though he had a pit road issue tonight. Matt Crockett was 15th. Michael Tucker, we watched him early, man. I keep saying it. That kid is fast, but he's got to slow down a little bit. Save that stuff. Make that fast last the whole race. 16th place finish for the 39. Dustin Rogerson was 17th. Nick Kolakowski comes home in the 18th position. 19th finisher was Jesse Redding. Justin Johnson was 20th. Dan Storm finished in the 21st spot. Nathan Line was 22nd. Ken Couch, 23rd. Scott Beardmore came home in the 24th spot. Chris Klein was 25th. 26th was Darren Jones. 27th, Joseph Tucker. Dana Shepard and Joe DeVede credited with 28th and 29th, respectively. Unable to take the green flag here tonight. 150 laps down. Dana getting called out for work. Not sure the scenario on the 6 of Joe DeVede, but nonetheless, still classified. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. Really do appreciate the viewership. Those numbers just keep going up and up and up every single week. It's awesome to see the number of likes I'm seeing on the streams. That's going up as well. I've always asked about it, but I don't know. I appreciate it, guys. It really does help. Pushes the video out to a wider audience, and that helps us here at HBR TV and also helps Lonestar Racing as a organization and a league. So keep it up. We'll see you guys next week at Kansas Speedway. We've got more racing coming up, though. We're going to be at good old Watkins Glen International here this coming Sunday, the No Bull Racing Series, starting off another round of their playoffs in the Gen 4 Cup car. That place is going to be a handful. Keep an eye out for Zach Millett. Likely the favorite rolling into that one, but it's not going to be a gimme. We'll see how it goes. Tune in here about 8 p.m. here Sunday evening at HBR TV. And then, of course, we repeat the schedule next week with IROC. Tuesdays we're off. Wednesday we're back with an Thumbs Racing League, the late model stock tour. And then, of course, Lonestar Racing back at Kansas a week from tonight. It's going to wrap it up for me here at HBR TV. Congratulating Zach Millett on the race win here tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you at the next one.